We spent weeks listening to their stories of drug addiction, mental illness, and financial hardship. We watched camps disband and reappear, one morning even landing in our own backyard. But our story doesn't start in a newsroom or on a podium. It starts here. Under the highway near 3rd and Plum, a man who only goes by Bison calls himself the mayor of this camp.
My focus and my priority is my tribe.
We met him at 5 a.m. It was his turn to keep watch, and he was busy making jewelry to sell on Fountain Square.
This is about the time I start getting up and start going to work.
But Bison isn't the only person who lives here with a role. Grandpa makes coffee every morning, and Zach Mendenhall has a way of finding what you need.
All these resources out of the dumpster.
So are you guys Reds fans?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I'm a Red fan, but
yeah.
You know, something that the trash provided.
And behind every roll is a story. Bison says growing up in foster homes and struggling with mental illness led him here.
You know, I'm bipolar, so it's a lot of stuff that I deal with.
For Mendenhall, it was drug addiction and trauma at an early age.
It's mainly drugs, and but there's deeper roots besides that. You know, my mom overdosed and died at my house party. I was 13.
At one point, more than 50 people called this area home, but just next door lived a different world. Downtown Cincinnati is the heart of Cincinnati's tourism industry. It's home to 5 Fortune 500 companies and 1.3 million workers who commute in from all over the tri-state. Sue Byram lives downtown and is the president of the Downtown Residents Council. She's heard story after story of how the camps affect businesses.
I've talked to people, especially near the encampment, who have businesses. I mean, they've got retail space. One woman in particular, she lost major clients because they were walking along and going, what's going on? And there is aggression there, and it is scary.
Then there were the health concerns. A letter from Downtown Cincinnati, Inc. said the county had to block off 20 parking spaces because of human waste. And Mayor Cranley released a statement saying health department officials confirmed an outbreak of hepatitis and instances of needle sharing.
We have all the same cleanliness issues and health issues. It's not just, you know, that people are taking a pee in the corner. It isn't healthy for them not to be able to bathe, not to have clean water, to be that confined and that close together.
But both people living here and here agreed on one thing. The city had ignored the problem for too long.
City wants to get money for a soccer field. You kidding me? You need to get apartments for all these homeless, all the homeless people.
I think that one of the things that we were really upset, we've been trying for 4-5 years to get council to do something.
Then on July 16th, the city took action. They put up an eviction notice calling the camp a public health emergency. Over the following week, city leaders spent time visiting the camp and hearing complaints from both sides.
For me, I feel bad for the people who live there because it's almost like everywhere they try to go, people will follow until they just keep following them. They just want to, you know, kind of just be in peace.
The city ended up granting them a 1-week extension.
By Wednesday, we have to leave.
And they provided short-term resources like dumpsters and bathrooms. Nonprofit organizations like Maslow's Army also stepped in to connect people with affordable housing and work programs. Remember Zach Mendenhall, the guy who made his way here digging through trash? He entered a work program for drug addicts.
I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Kind of like looking down this tunnel right here.
While some residents did refuse help, Sam Landis from Maslow's Army said most people were granted affordable housing or went into rehabs and shelters.
Because of the extension, we believe that it's really paid off. So we're showing our respect back by starting to clean up today.
As the city prepared to disband the camp, spirits soared.
Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
But that won't last long. With the homeless camp on 3rd and Plum disbanded, cleaned, and fenced off, the city turned its attention to another camp lining 3rd Street. But this group had a different message. They wanted to stay.
So what the people on 3rd Street are saying today is there is no intention to leave this space.
People like Bison refused to go into shelters because of past trauma.
Don't tell me how I can live. And Cincinnati's small. It's places I go, you'll never find me. And I'll be what? Outside.
And people living on 3rd Street sued the city to stay. But this isn't the first time downtown homeless camps made the headlines. In 2007, the city agreed to give encampments 72 hours to disband as part of a settlement after a similar chain of events. And since 2012, more progress has been made. 5 new nonprofit shelters were built, and experts say they're working.
We have seen a 42% decrease in the number of people who are sleeping outside on the street.
Strategies to end homelessness relies on federal, state, and local dollars to fund homeless services across Hamilton County. In 2018, the organization received $23.1 million.
Even though that sounds like a lot of money, it is not enough to offer that housing to everyone who might need it.
Even though there are fewer people living outside today than in past years, there's a perception that the homeless population in Cincinnati is growing. This is largely because the heroin crisis brought an increase in panhandlers, but most panhandlers in Cincinnati are not actually homeless.
Well, Downtown Cincinnati Incorporated did a survey of panhandlers in the city of Cincinnati last year, and 2/3 of them, by their own report, were not homeless.
Now the future of the camps is in the hands of officials. On August 6th, Judge Robert Ruhlman ordered the city to clear all camps south of Central Parkway. On August 7th, the boundary was extended to include most of the city, and by August 9th, it included all of Hamilton County, with the caveat that shelters still had room. Some people moved their camp to a private lot in Over the Rhine, but on August 15th, prosecutor Joe Dieter said he would force them to leave and that private property is off limits too. For some, recent events show the city is getting serious about homelessness.
Feeling a bit of relief right now because at least there's a respite in all the craziness that's going on.
Others say it's a complex issue that can't be fixed overnight.
We need all the help we can get.
One of the realities of homelessness is we get everyone's failures. So when the criminal justice system fails, when the mental health system fails, when the hospital system fails, when the educational systems fail, people become homeless.